starting this morning in the kitchen with one of my favorite restaurants down in Seattle's Georgetown neighborhood. Mezzanotte is known for their authentic Italian cuisine with handmade pasta and curated wines. And their chef, Johnny Sullivan, joins me now with a delicious recipe for a ricotta gnocchi with tomato and summer veggies. Yum!
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this. Is this a staple on the menu or is this more seasonal?
The ricotta gnocchi is always on our menu, and we do change it seasonally. So we do have a version of this on the menu right now. Pretty simple sauce.
Yeah. And you said you can pair it not just with pasta, but with protein.
Yeah, really any pasta. I brought ricotta gnocchi, which we make at the restaurant, but you could use a dried pasta, you could use a nice fish. Any of that stuff would be great with this. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so how do we get started with the recipe?
So I'm just going to start with some fresh tomato. Pick these up at the market. These are some nice organic heirloom tomatoes.
Ooh.
It's going to make a very coarse chop with these.
And you have a pan really hot too, is also important.
That's right.
As well,
I got that
right?
pan pretty hot. We're going to want to break these tomatoes down pretty quickly.
Okay. Is there a certain type of tomato you like? And this time of year,
No,
you said is pretty perfect.
At the restaurant right now, we're using some cherry tomatoes, and those work great. These tomatoes are great. Any tomato is going to work, and that's kind of the point of this. Yeah, smoking hot.
Smoking hot. So you put some olive oil in the pan.
That's right. You want a good amount of fat. We don't want these to stick. I'm going to add a little more tomato as well.
I wouldn't think that you would want the pan that piping hot, so I'm glad I'm watching you today with what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's going to give everything a little color as well. And that's good for flavor.
And is this another tomato, just another color?
Yeah, exactly. This is another heirloom tomato. I'm actually not sure what the variety of this guy is.
Yum. And for someone that's never been to Mezzanotte, how would you begin to describe this special restaurant that I love so much?
Yeah, so we're Northern Italian inspired. I wouldn't say 100% traditional. We can kind of mix it up a little bit, but Northern Italian inspired, yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite items on the menu?
So we're pretty well known for our Tyrine, which is, well, we do all of our pasta in-house, right? So we do extruded pasta and we do hand-cut pasta as well, and Tyrine is a hand-cut pasta. So that's sort of a 50-50 egg yolk to double O flour pasta, very rich and quite delicious. We serve it just with a little bit of butter and sage and Parmesan.
Simple but delicious.
Simple but delicious. All right.
So you're seasoning as we're going with a little salt, okay.
You kind of want to season layer by layer just to make sure you get it all in there.
Okay.
So I'll add a little more seasoning later on. So I'm just adding some nice yellow corn here as well.
Yum.
Put that into the sauce.
Is that fresh corn? Can you use it again?
Yeah, I mean, it's the height of summer, so why would you not? Why would you not? Why would you use something else?
I don't know.
Yeah. And then lastly, I'm just going to grab some of this squash, and this squash is from our friends Equilibrium Farm. It's an organic farm just north of Seattle, and their stuff is great. So we try to use local farmers as much as possible, and Equilibrium is a place that we go to pretty frequently. So I'm just going to kind of coarsely chop this.
Okay. Is there a reason why you like coarsely chop instead of like fine chop with a dish like this? Or?
Yeah, I think that we kind of want to preserve the integrity of the vegetables, even though, we're cooking this tomato down. It's going to cook the water out of it. It's going to concentrate the flavors, and it's going to make our sauce. But this stuff, the squash, the corn, these extra vegetables, we're gonna want them to add something else to the dish, right? So this zucchini is gonna add a little bit of texture and a little bit of bitterness, probably, because we're not gonna cook it too much. The corn is gonna add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of bite. And then, of course, our tomatoes are just gonna make a nice, luxurious sauce.
Okay, and about how long would you let something like this simmer, just for people at home?
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to show you guys this sauce is because it is so quick. You can really make this in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon how
Wow.
much you want to cook it down. And I think that that is kind of an invaluable thing to be able to do, especially in the summer when it's so hot and you don't want to be standing over a stove.
No,
Trust me, it's
sweating.
really not so fun.
It's not so fun. Okay,
no.
and the gnocchi is going to take no time at all,
So
right? Because
yeah,
it's
so
fresh.
that's right. So it's we roll this by hand at the restaurant, and then because it's a restaurant and we need to have like quick access to it, we'll blanch it off, right?
Okay.
So it's like any other gnocchi. You drop it in the pot of boiling water, and you wait for it to rise to the surface, and we skim it off, and we'll toss this in a little bit of oil and hold that so that you guys don't have to wait so long for your food and it doesn't get too sticky. But so
Yes.
this is what I have. I have a little bit of par blanched
Okay, perfect.
gnocchi.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop this in here.
Delicious.
And we just kind of want to warm it up. We're also going to be adding a little bit of starch to our water here, and that is going to be a valuable resource as well.
Why is that important?
So we're going to use some of this pasta water to thicken up our sauce.
Ooh,
right?
okay.
So we have it's just a salted water, seasoned water, and that's going to add a little bit of body and kind of thin it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So bring everything together a little bit. We're also going to add a little bit of fat to the pan.
Ooh.
Don't be afraid when you're making food for other people. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of butter in there. They're gonna love it.
It
You don't
makes
have to tell them.
everything taste
You don't have to
better.
tell them how much you're putting in there.
That's true. Okay, we have about a minute left.
Okay,
so
great.
How are we doing?
So we're doing pretty well. I'm just gonna crank up the heat a little bit, and then I'm
Perfect.
going to add a little bit of water, just a little bit of splash of water here. and
There you go,
then
that
a little
pasta
bit of
water. Don't throw it
chunk
away.
Of butter, exactly.
Give
yeah.
me all the butter too. I'm here
There
for
we go.
it.
Yeah.
And while this is cooking too, you have a ton of wine
We do. We have
selection
a
as
great
well.
wine program at Mezzanotte. Our wine director, Brett Gardine, is a very talented guy. And so we have a nice light red here. This is a dolcetto that we have on our menu right now. If
Amazing.
you would love to, or if you'd like
Yes.
to open that
I'm
up.
going to pour that and I'm going to try this dish too.
Great. And a Trebbiano and a Gavi that also would go really well with this.
Okay.
Excellent. So,
Well, bada bing, bada boom.
bada
Here
bing,
I go.
bada
Bon
boom.
appetit. Oh my gosh. Pillows of heaven.
Pillows of heaven. Yeah, they're nice and tender.
Thank you so much for
You're-
being
you're
here.
very welcome.
Cheers.
Thank
That
you.
was fantastic.